cargo hold of the Wandering Star was supposed to be empty. Finch had checked the manifest 3 times before departing from station Kepler 442. No passengers. No livestock. Just standard supply crates bound for the mining colonies in the outer reaches of space. Yet here he was, standing frozen in place, staring at 2 pairs of luminescent purple eyes blinking nervously at him from behind a stack of protein rations. "Please, don't call the Emperor's guard," a small, trembling voice pleaded. Finch sighed and ran a calloused hand through his graying hair. 20 years in the human colonial marines. 5 wars across a dozen star systems. And somehow Stowaways still managed to catch him off guard. He slowly lowered his plasma rifle, careful not to startle them further. "Come out where I can see you," he said, his voice firm but not unkind. 2 figures emerged from the shadows. They were Zithian. He recognized the species instantly. Twin girls, no more than adolescents by their people's standards. Their skin shimmered with faint bioluminescent patterns that pulsed nervously under the cargo bay lights. One had longer tendrils framing her face, the elder twin, according to Zithian custom. "I'm frozen," the elder said, stepping protectively in front of her sister. "This is my twin, Leah. We mean no harm to your vessel or your mission." Finch noticed how Frozen's hand trembled despite her brave posture. Her clothing was torn, stained from weeks of travel, and both girls looked like they hadn't eaten properly in days. Faint scars marked their arms. Marks Finch had seen far too many times during the war. "Stowaways on a registered human vessel," Finch muttered. "Do you have any idea the trouble this causes? I'm legally obligated to report you to the nearest Imperial authority." "Please." Frozen's composure shattered. "They'll send us back to the breeding colonies. We'd rather die in the cold of space than return there." Finch went still. He had heard the rumors. After the Zithian homeworld was annexed by the Critian Empire, families were torn apart. Children were taken under the guise of cultural re-education. In reality, they were groomed to become translators, servants, or worse, for Imperial officials. Protocol demanded he report them. But Finch hadn't survived 2 decades of combat by always following protocol. "When did you last eat?" he asked quietly. The question caught Frozen off guard. She glanced at her sister. 3 days ago, maybe." Finch holstered his rifle and nodded toward the exit. "My quarters are 2 decks up. We'll figure this out on a full stomach." The twins hesitated. Leah whispered something in their native tongue. Frozen replied softly, then looked back at him. "Why would you help us? Humans and Zithians fought on opposite sides during the Confluence War." "I didn't fight Zithians," Finch corrected as he started walking. "I fought the Critian Empire and anyone standing with them. Last I checked, your people didn't have much choice." After a moment, they followed. In his quarters, Finch heated 2 ration packs, the good ones he saved for long hauls. He watched as the twins devoured the food with the desperation of true hunger. Frozen tried to eat slowly, to preserve her dignity, but eventually gave in. "So," Finch said, leaning against the wall, "start from the beginning. How did you end up in my cargo hold?" Frozen wiped her mouth with the back of her hand. "After the annexation, we were taken to a colony station. They separated us from our parents. Said we'd be given better opportunities serving Imperial families." She hesitated, searching for words. "When we learned we were to be sold to a Critian general, one known for his cruelty toward our people, we ran. We stole maintenance uniforms," Leah added quietly. "Snuck onto a cargo shuttle. Then another ship. Then yours." "How long have you been running?" Finch asked. 6 weeks, Frozen answered. "Every station, every ship. But we're running out of places to hide. The Emperor's Guard has already posted bounties for escaped Imperial property." The word property made Finch's jaw tighten. He had fought to end that kind of thinking. Had lost friends to make sure the human coalition would never tolerate slavery. "The nearest coalition outpost is 3 jumps away," he said after a moment. "Nova Station. They don't recognize Imperial bounties, and there's a Zithian refugee community there. New identities. Safe passage to a free colony." Hope flickered in Frozen's eyes. "You would risk Imperial sanctions for us?" Finch shrugged. "I'm retired. Independent contractor now. I choose my own risks. And I didn't spend 20 years fighting tyranny just to hand scared kids back to tyrants." "The Emperor's Guard will question you if they find out," Frozen warned. "They're relentless." A grim smile crossed Finch's face. "Let them come. I've dealt with worse." He straightened. "You'll stay in the spare cabin. Don't wander during refueling stops, cameras are everywhere. In 3 weeks, you'll be free coalition citizens. Frozen stood and performed a traditional Zithian gesture of gratitude. Palms pressed together, head bowed. We are in your debt, Finch of the Human Coalition. Your lives are your own, Finch replied gently. That's the whole point. Later that night, as the twins settled into their cabin, Frozen whispered, "Do you think we can trust him?" Through the thin walls, they could hear Finch in the cockpit, plotting a route that deliberately avoided Imperial patrols. Leah smiled for the first time in weeks. I think we already do. Back in the cargo hold, forgotten in their haste, lay a small datapad displaying Imperial bounty notices. The reward for Frozen and Leah's capture was enough to pay off Finch's ship 3 times over. He had seen it earlier. He had made his choice anyway. Some prices, a human veteran knew, were far too high to ever be worth paying. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life.